This lovely mid-century wedding dress was donated by the daughter of Anne, who was the original wearer of this dress. Anne wore this for her wedding, for her and Robert's marriage on July 18th of 1953. The couple met at a friend's party, and the wedding was at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I guess it was quite the affair with 7 bridesmaids, 7 groomsmen. So in addition to the dress was the headpiece and some lace gauntlets. And here is a shot of the darling dress. This is such a classic mid-century style. I love that banded waistband that was such a popular feature back then. And then there's another bag here. And there's the shot of Anne in her beautiful wedding dress. And you can see those lace gauntlets in that image. So in addition to those items, there was also this hoop skirt and another hoop skirt and a petticoat. So that is all the 3 layers that Anne wore to get the huge fullness of her dress for the wedding. And here is a shot of that little bridal cap and veil on that in that set. So what a lovely donation. And there's those lace gauntlets too with that interesting shape to them. But there you get an image of it in the photo. So here's some close-ups of it. As so often is the case, the underarms are stained and there's some general yellow and oxidation going on. And a lot of times that affects the lace. It was really small, so I was not able to get it zipped up on my small dress form. And then there you can see the shot of the yellowed lace where the tulle has fared better from time, but that lace has definitely yellowed. And there's a shot of the back. And that, again, is that banded waistband. So I am going to attempt, as long as I can, I always take advantage of trying to eke out a little bit of size whenever possible. So I wasn't able to get much, but even just a half an inch or an inch to increase the size is usually helpful to hopefully have a better chance of it finding a new home. So once I got that enlargement done, then I did a first round with retro wash. And the dress is going to be nylon lace, and then it's going to be acetate taffeta for the underlayers. So I'm going fairly warm for the water temperature. And I just did 1 tablespoon of the retro wash in there. And then I let that soak for 1 hour. And then drained the water. And then now to handle that yellowing, I'm going to do sodium perborate. Lately, I've been kind of bumping up the amount. I was normally doing like a half a cup, but now I'm kind of doing 1 cup. And that does seem to be working better. It's, not exactly inexpensive, but, if it's doing it in 1 round with 1 cup, then you're better off than doing a couple rounds. So in it goes. And again, fairly warm temperature. I think I was at about 120 with this water temperature. And then I've been having good luck for just trying to keep it insulated with putting some bubble wrap on top and then my mesh rack. And then I take these plastic containers and put some water in to kind of weight everything down because the dress will want to kind of pop up. So I did a 3-hour soak. I would have gone a little bit longer, but it was time for bed. So I did it for 3 hours, rinsed it, and then let it hang overnight. And then while it was still damp, I put it on my dress form just to coax out that side just a little bit more. And that did actually work rather well. So for pressing, I did the inside, the acetate lining on the wrong side first. And I guess I didn't get a shot of ironing that. I thought I did. But here I'm doing the lace. And then I'm using Mary Ellen's. It's a sizing alternative. It's kind of an eco-friendly, just to give it a little bit of body. And that just really perks up that lace nicely by using that. So then just go 1 by 1 on all those lace panels. Now for those lace gauntlets, I decided to do those separately so I could kind of give a little more special attention to them. I took those buttons off, those tiny little buttons, all 20 of them, because those are prone to rusting. So I did 1 tablespoon of the sodium perborate, and I did it in a glass cake pan, and again, a 3-hour soak on it. Rinsed it out, and then did my towel roll and let those air dry as well. So to try to perk up the buttons a little bit, sometimes I have success with this, and I didn't have this size. This is instead of the normal size 18, this is a size 16, a much smaller button. I didn't have any of these kind of replacement ones in stock. So to try to revive the existing ones, I sprayed on peroxide and then put it on baking soda and let that dry. And then one by one, you kind of brush off the baking soda, and it doesn't bring them, to bright white, but it definitely worked well enough to be able to put them back on. And then I sewed those back on one by one, and there they are. I love those gauntlets. Now for the bridal cap and veil, the cap itself is really misshapen. It has a piece of wire in it, a wire frame, and then there's a plastic headband in the front. You can see here the netting, especially like cotton netting of this era, just does not hold up well over time. It was completely rotten, so that had to go. So to try to reshape that cap, I put some plastic wrap on my poor girl's mannequin head and pinned it in place. And then I'm also going to try to brighten it. So I'm kind of doing two things to it here. So then I got it covered with plastic, and then I've got some rubber gloves on. And I'm just still keep using this 12% peroxide because I had to buy a whole big gallon of it last year, and I'm just trying to use it up because it doesn't last forever. So I let that dry completely, and once it was dry, then I heated up a little bit that plastic headband. It's kind of hard to see it through the lace, but I tried to heat that up a little bit and then let that cool on that head block to try to reshape it a little bit. And it wasn't perfect, but it's so much better. You'll see here when I get that off that it definitely perked it right up, not only with the brightness, but also with the shape. So to replace the tulle, regular tulle in white was too light, and I had a piece of dyed tulle, and that was too dark. So what I ended up doing was I layered the two on top of each other, and then it ends up reading perfectly. So I was really happy with how that turned out, and that's so much nicer now. And that's just held in place at the forehead with a hair clip. The zipper was a little sticky, so I have this little thing of, it's basically just paraffin wax. So you just kind of rub it on the metal zipper teeth, and that makes it work so much better. And now you can see I was able to get that zipped up on the dress form. So here's the befores and afters. Look at how pretty this dress is. It definitely brightened up. That lace perked right up. And here is a video of the dress without all of the hoop skirts and the petticoat underneath it. But again, there's that banded waist that I love so much, that those lace panels brightened up so nicely. I love the little kind of cap sleeves on this. And then here, you can see it with all of the, talk about a princess dress. Look at the fullness in this skirt. Wow. It's a fairy tale. I think she's so pretty. It's just beautiful mid-century with all the fullness and ready once again, 72 years later.